What's up, guys? It's been a while since I uploaded a video. I've sucked at recording, so I'm working on a couple still that don't really have a whole lot right now, so I'm thinking I'll probably just combine some. But anyways, today is kind of exciting. I'll be getting a car I bought sight unseen. It should be rolling in a couple hours here. He's coming down from Fairbanks, so it's like a 6-hour drive. He left at like 10 this morning, so a couple more hours my new car will be here, and I'll show you guys what I bought, and we'll see if it runs, if it drives, what it might need. But for now, while I have you guys, let's go over a little Supra update, just because I haven't shown it with the finished Garrett turbo swap. I love how that turbo looks on here. It's such a small turbo, but it's so punchy, so responsive. Heat wrapped the header and everything, or the downpipe, sorry. Yeah, things are coming along with this thing. It also, I did get the passenger seat mounted finally last night. That took a long time. Basically all I did there was I modified a Corbeau bracket. I cut the ends off and welded on new ones so I could set it down lower and kind of match the driver's side a little bit. And then cut the ends off and then just drilled through it so that way I could mount my side mount seat mounts to the Corbeau bracket. I also got rid of some of the sound deadening. And ideally, I have a buddy who's up for the summer. He lives down in the States now, but he's a extremely good fabricator. And so the idea is I'm gonna get some tubing and we're gonna roll cage this thing. So that's kind of why I got the passenger side sound deadening out while I had the seat out. And then, but I haven't cleaned it or painted it yet because we're about to probably put in some roll bar anyway, so we'll just wait until the cage is in and then we'll brush on whatever paint for that and then do something for the floor. Not sure if I want to just brush on some POR 15 or if I want to do like a bed liner type thing. If you guys have any ideas for that, let me know. You might hear it idling in the background, but my new car is here. You might have just caught a little glimpse of it right there. I'm really excited. I put a battery in this thing and then saw the jump start it. My battery was dead. But this thing fired right up, right now. And it's got some sticky brake issues, but that's not too bad. I drove it off the trailer and I drove it around the yard as much as I felt I should. Take a look. We have a 1980 Toyota Celica Supra. First gen Supra, and just listen to it run. The old 4ME is just purring. She's beat up, she's not perfect. I definitely didn't pay a lot of money for this car, which I'm stoked about how well it runs. I can't believe it, honestly. I am so excited about this car. Like I said, she's beat up, you know. We're missing some headliner and some rear plastic's a little broken. Some of it's there. I guess it's not really plastic, but I mean the power windows work. They're labeled incorrectly. I bet the old crank sunroof's gotta work. Oh yeah, not a problem. My first car was a 79 Celica, so seeing this dash just takes me back. Look at that. The old Alpine cassette player. I don't think I could get rid of that. Red interior with the gray and black two-tone. I can't believe it. Doors close like crap, like they should. Let's do a light check while we're at it. Oh, we got both low beams. Corner lights working. Side marker's not. It's full of crap, so. Rear side marker is. We got tail lights. We're missing one taillight, and that one's understandable, I suppose. Let's do a high beam check, see if the inside indicator comes on. I don't think, oh yeah, inside indicator is working. We have no high beam. Everything's shut off. That's all right. We can figure that out. It's not a big deal. We have left blinker on the dash. We got left blinker on the front bumper. We got left blinker in the rear. We got right blinker on the dash. Right blinker on the front bumper. It's not hyper flashing, so I imagine this is working. Yeah. Look at that. I'm gonna set you guys up. I'm gonna do a brake light check. Tell me if they turn on. Not even any smoke. I can't believe it. I don't know how long this thing's been off the road. Last registered in 09. So probably around then. I'm stupid excited. Like, I didn't think I'd be this excited to buy this beat up of a car after, you know, doing that. But holy smokes, dude. This is just historic. Let's take I mean, it's nothing really exciting to gander at under the hood, but maybe some of you have never seen the old 4ME under the Celica Supra. There she is. Sounds good. I can hear the injector, and it sounds like some pulley noise. Besides that, like, this thing sounds amazing. Old school hood springs. You gotta close this thing like a square body where you push it in and shut it. This thing is running, man. I've had a cap rotor, wires, plugs, and she smooths right out. Do some vacuum deleting. It looks like this master cylinder's new. They were definitely trying to fix the brake issue. They said it was sticky fronts, and after moving it around and spinning the rear tires, I have to believe it. I'm gonna need mirror for sure. I'll get pulled over for that. Let's see, does this all work? That worked. They're all stuck together. That worked, I felt it. Rear struts don't work. I have some extra hood struts for the Mark III that likely pop in. Probably don't open it as far, but I'll hold it open with my head for now. I think it's got a spare. No spare tire, but look at that. It's not a big hole. It's actually got a spare tire hole in it. Fuel pump access. Look at that. No way we have the freaking cargo cover. And it functions. That's crazy work. That is nuts. Fuel door open, no cap. Oh, take it back, I guess. Look at this thing. I'm just stoked it's a runner, and it just fired right up, and it's not overheating. The thermostat opened. See, temp gauge there. I don't know if the fuel gauge is accurate. Oil has pressure, not a whole lot, but it doesn't come up a whole lot. Voltage gauge is kind of doing weird stuff. I checked it with the multimeter, and it is working. Look at this. Piece of history. Stoked. All right, well, I got it up on some jack stands. And we're looking under the thing. Well, first of all, I spun this one. This caliper's not locked up. Got a little bit of slop in the steering. I think it's mostly idler arm moving up and down. Tiny bit of wheel bearing play, but these just need adjusted. Probably repack at this point. The main issue is just this caliper is the tight one. So I'm gonna get that wheel off pretty soon and look at that. Rear spin, obviously they sound terrible. Oh, there's not any pad left. Or am I looking at it wrong? I might be looking at it wrong. We'll still check. How cool is that though? Solid axle with disc brakes. I mean, that should be spinning backwards. I think we're gonna ruin it slightly and weld the diff. Why not, you know? Look at it. It's pretty dang rust free though. Little bits here and there. But I mean, this car's how old now? How do you math? Alright, so 80 to 2000, 20, 40. This thing's 45 years old. That was easy math. I can't believe it took me that long. 45 years old. Been sitting a long time. And the only real pointable rust is right here in the floor. Which we've all seen enough Vice Grip Garage. You put license plate right out over that. Look at this thing. A little bit of leaks. You expect that, especially from old transmission. Brother, I am freaking jazzed on this thing. Let's get a wheel off. I'll grab some Celica calipers I have laying around, and we'll see if they made the super brakes any bigger. I imagine they're the same though. Part of me is wondering why I'm doing this out in the dirt when I could just move the Mark III and do it in the garage. But at the same time, it just feels right. You know, like, let's just work on this thing. Let's just put very little effort into it and make it a street car again. Work on it in the dirt. Just have fun with the car. Obviously the Mark III is fun, but it's a ton of work. If I could keep this one as is and just run it, maintain it, it's gonna be a good car. All right, first impression of the brakes. Got some serious grooves. Not looking good. These are trapped rotors, so you have to pull the whole hub off to unbolt the rotor. Not a terrible deal. Brake line, not looking good. I'm starting to wonder after seeing that and all this cracking if it's actually just the brake line that's bad, not letting this release, but also, I mean, they ran it metal to metal. So there's a good chance this caliper is bad, not just the brake line. But yeah, let's check the other side, huh? This side was not metal to metal. It's actually still a pretty decent rotor, but there's not a lot of pad left. So definitely needed pads, obviously. Someone painted this. These bolts are even shorter. Either that or they're backing out. Either way, hubs are gonna have to come off. Let's look at those other hubs I have. All right, so this is pretty neat. These are actually old legend car knuckles. Old school legend car knuckles. But they have Toyota brakes and hubs. And first glance, they appear to be correct. 100%. So I think I'm just gonna swap the whole hub and everything. right onto it. I don't see why not. This one has a brake line. I don't know if it's long enough to reach. It's obviously a Legend Car one. I might have brake lines. We're gonna find out. I think first step is just swapping the hubs and calipers, obviously, so we can make it a true roller. And of course we gotta take it around the block. Alright, so I got the Legend Car hubs apart. The grease doesn't look bad in them, and I don't have seals, and like I said, I'm trying to make this car cheap as possible, just enjoy it. So I might just take some grease, run it around the outside bearing, and then try and get my finger in there deep to get the inside bearing. But what I noticed was when these were ran on a Legend Car, someone didn't use the slider shims. So they are still on this car. So I'm gonna take these brakes apart, take those shims out, clean them as well as I can, and then everything will be nice and greased then too. So that'll be nice. And yeah, I think that's next step is pulling these guys apart. Haven't done that in a while. They're kind of weird with the little shims here with the little spring tabs and the little cotter pins. They're pretty interesting. Let's see if I remember how to do these. Alright. It's pretty cool. I've been sending Snapchats of this to my friends, obviously, because I'm stoked. And it's pretty cool how many of my friends actually share the excitement for this old car. I mean, it should slide out. Let's just pull the pins. Maybe we'll have to pull all 4 pins. Maybe we'll just have to slide it out the other way or something. Something that's always amazed me about old Toyotas is how well they come apart. This one's been sitting for who knows how long. But I know this hardware is all going to come loose. I don't know how they did it, but it's pretty fancy, if I do say so myself. Maybe I'll grab a little hammer and kind of break those free. Here's that hammer I talked about. There we go, that one started sliding. Starting to think if I really have to do that. The other ones still have that. If I can get the pads out, I could probably just get the slide shims off. Let me try that real quick. That sounds like a good plan. No, I didn't say it was going to come apart easy, but I did say it was going to come apart. I'm probably getting a little tetanus. Should probably get updated on that shot one of these days. Today is not that day. It's an interesting rub mark there. You wouldn't think the tire would be able to hit it at stock angle. Maybe you can. Hey, has anyone done S13 front suspension on one of these? I've seen it on some forums, but if anyone watching this video has actually done it and would want to give me some info, might just save me some time and hassle of figuring it out myself, but at the same time, might just be figuring it out myself. It can't be too hard, right? I mean, it's very similar. You got your, strut rod, caster rod, McPherson style strut, lower control arm. Could you just use the whole lower control arm, strut, knuckle, hubs, brakes, everything from an S13? That'd be pretty sick. What would you do about steering? I mean, you could probably use this steering for a bit, but This old conventional steering is a little outdated. That's alright. That pad popped out. There wasn't nothing left of that. That one's pretty well stuck. But we can now get these shims out. Oh, they're different top and bottom. So the small one is on top on the outside, and it's the same way on the inside. Small one up top. It's a nice thing about doing these videos. It's mostly just for yourself when you go to put it back together. This thing was obviously stuck. It was not sliding. I mean, we knew that because I just tried to hammer out this guy and it was stuck. So we'll make sure to lube up the new ones, before going on. Ooh, that bearing had a bad flat spot anyways, you hear that? Yeah, we're swapping this whole hub over. Won't be no thing, you know? It's funny, you know, I work on, oh, that's not bad grease. Someone was just in here trying to fix that, I bet. Well, not just in here, but at some point, someone was in here. But as I was saying, I work on cars for a living, and it's really not enjoyable. But then, I'll get some old piece of crap like this, and just immediately start working on it, just excited to do it. There's just something about the old cars, especially old Toyotas, that just get my heart going, you know? I just want to be able to drive this thing. I mean, I just bought it. Can't even really drive it. What's the fun in that? Bought it sight unseen too. My first sight unseen purchase. I ain't even mad at it. I might have to do it more if it ends up turning out this well, you know? Probably not. I don't have that kind of money, but it would be cool. Bent this cotter pin in an unfortunate spot. There we go. Let's get a little more pull. There we go. Should probably be keeping most of the stuff cleaner, but at the same time, the good stuff I'm using is in the garage where it's a lot cleaner. So I'll just have to use some care when putting it together. But this stuff I think I'll lay out not in the dirt. Let's put it here on my kneeling pad. Just less likely to get dirt kicked up on it. And that's that. These old cars are awesome. I haven't even checked the digits on the dash. I don't know what it's, I don't think this had 100,000th place. At least my 79 Celica did not. So I wonder how many miles are on this one. I was wondering because there's no seal groove here. Part of me kind of wants to just shorten this sucker, get some angle out of it right off the bat. But I mean, it's not gonna have power to drift, or will it? I don't know. I've never driven one of these 4Ms, but I'm gonna have to say they probably don't have a whole lot of horsepurs. I think I read that it was like 110 when they were new. Yep. All right, well, took me a little while to find it, but I did find my grease. So we'll just, I wish I had gloves. I don't know where those went. I really need to do some garage maintenance cleanup. We'll just lube the spindle up a little bit. And like I said, I want to just try and get some grease on this bearing. It doesn't look bad. It's just Legend cars didn't use a whole lot of grease. Tried to keep it simple and as drag free as possible. I know there's old grease in here and I should clean it out and do all that, but you know, should's a heck of a thing. There's a lot of things I should do and shouldn't do, but here I am doing them anyways. All right. That's a bumblebee. Haven't seen a bumblebee in a while. Sounds way better than the other bearing. I don't know if you guys will hear it on camera. That other one sounded bad. Ow. Stupid. Alright, that is definitely seated. So we'll back her off a little bit. I think that ought to be fine. Let's probably just go grab one of the other ones because this one was already bent in that unfortunate spot, but I mean, this one's here. I'd have to go get up and get the other one. Ah, there we go. See? You don't need to get up. Yep. Let me put the cap on the grease before things get crazy, you know? So something's in the backing plate. Something weird. Oh, you know what it is? It's this little dent in the cap. And I bet we're hitting the cotter pin as it goes by. Oh, those are some weak dikes. There we go. That was a silly problem. I'm glad it didn't take me long to think of that. You guys would have been like, oh, this guy's an idiot. Well, this here caliper is missing one of those shims anyways. That's kind of a bummer, but we can just clean one of the ones off of this old crusty one. I mean, they're both old and crusty, but you know what I mean. Make sure you cross thread it, you know, get a little bit of Nature's Loctite in there. Alright, caliper is on and tight. So, our caliper bracket anyways. So that's how those shims are supposed to slide out, and then the caliper comes off like that. That's not too bad. These guys are just little spring clips. We don't gotta change those out, those are fine. While we're here, let's go ahead and install our slider shims. Remember how I said the big one's on the bottom, small one's on top. One of them went missing. Nope, I never took it off. It's still right here. Oh. That's not how I wanted to do that. Do it like that. That makes way more sense. There's a way to do things. I don't always do it correct, but man, I'll figure it out eventually. Alright. These pads have like full life. This one went to the caliper. You can tell because of the way it is. Dab a little grease on there. Dab a little grease on there. Try and not get it all over the rotor. Grease up these guys, the edges here. Boom. One down, one to go. One of the very few boxes I've ever actually labeled. Those adapters aren't going to work in this scenario. But there are these guys that should replace those, no problem. They're a little extra long. Do I have two of these? I do indeed. I actually have two factory rubber lines. But these actually split. Right at the strut. But I mean, these aren't too terrible anyways. So I might just replace, and this just looks awful because of the protectant over it. I don't believe the line itself is actually bad. Should probably figure that out, huh? Oh, we're dripping some fluid. It's just kind of pinched, but I mean, it's a hydraulic line. When you put fluid through it, it's gonna expand again, right? They are really quite long. Let's see how the factory rubber lines work first. It's probably gonna bite me in the butt, but at least we'll know. I'm just gonna need to really remember to get those lines. I don't want those to blow out. Next plan of attack, look for pinchers. Alright, I did find some pinchers. I don't want to pinch too tight because these hoses are old. So just pinch a little bit just so we don't lose all our brake fluid all at once. I should have broken these free when it was still attached. Oh my gosh, how am I going to do that? As I bust a knuckle real quick. Ah, there we go. Only he kind of pinched my finger. That's not too bad, you know. A little bit of fluid drip out of there. That's actually a good sign. Alright. Oh, look at that. I'm not even going to have to loosen the line. It's not pigtailed. That's amazing. Alright, I'll clean up the one free slider pin that came with this. Put a little bit of grease on it. Figure out which direction it goes. Boom. Now the fun part, I have to get one of those out. Let me put these pins in before I forget, because I do be forgetting. Alright, now that one's out, the other should come out easy enough. Alright, I cleaned this about as quick and careless as I could, so it should be perfect. Grease it up a bit. Just throw a pin on one side now. Nope, we'll just throw a pin in both sides when I get to that point. Alright, take the clamp off. With that, this side's done and mine is bleeding. I'll get that taken care of after I do the other side. I'm not going to show you guys the other side, it's the exact same thing, just over there. Well, I said I wasn't going to film this side, but I got to kind of eat my words from the other side. I was talking about how everything comes apart, and this side actually did start coming apart real easy with that caliper bolt. She is not wanting to come out. She's trying to round off. So we're gonna see what we can do. Should have got my wrench off there first, because now my wrench is going to be smoking hot, but another crazy thing is this caliper is so seized, I don't even have a top bolt on it. It didn't just boom, pop the caliper off. Alright, well, I had to tell you I was wrong. I'll admit, I was wrong. It is coming out though. Just needed a lot of persuasion. But it is what it is. If your brakes start grinding, just keep driving. Part of the bummer of this is that the top slide shim over here it's no longer in existence, so had to figure that out. For the time being, guess we just won't have one, and we'll hope it does the best it can. Definitely gonna have to get a hardware kit. Whatever, it is what it is. It's an old car, gotta expect it. Something else I was gonna say about it, but I guess that's that. How's that? Okay. Alright, well this side gravity bled, the other side did not. But we know it has fluid going through the lines because it dripped. So I think for now I'm just gonna pump the brake and we'll see if this left front still holds. Okay, we got pressure. Feeling good. So now this will tell us if the line is bad or if it was all just the caliper. All right, it appears it was all just the caliper. I mean, obviously the line still is bad. I'll replace it very soon. I just can't right now. I doubt the parts stores just have those. But let's see if this side, now that it's got some pressure, if it will start gravity bleeding. Oh, yep, there we go. So I'll let that go for a little bit and then tighten her up, and we'll move on to seeing what the rear looks like. All right, I got tools mostly put away, and the, does that look weird? Something weird. All right, my image stabilization was being all crazy, but I got the tools mostly put away, and now we are gonna pop off the rears and see what those look like. I don't have anything for the rears because I've never had a Celica with rear brakes before, but I figure we might as well pull it apart, see what it looks like. Man, there is a mosquito just sucking the blood right out. Yep. Yeah, he was full. Let's see. Alright, good news. They're really hard to check, but there is a decent amount of pad, at least on this side. We'll go see what the other side looks like, and then might be taking this old girl for its first drive. Good pad there. Let me look down through the top. Good pad on the outside. Sound terrible, of course, because they've been sitting a long time. That'll work itself out. Rear sway bar. I don't think the regular Celica had a rear sway bar. I could be wrong. All the bushings, of course, look awful, but they seem to be holding in all right. Look at these little dinky springs. There ain't nothing to those. Wonder what kind of suspension upgrades I can get going on this thing to make it handle better. I know the front needs struts. It's very bouncy. They're not leaking, but they're bouncy. This thing is pretty nice though. Way nicer than I expected it to be. 100%. I like looking at it. So before I shut the hood, I'm really wondering why the heater control is bypassed. Not sure what's going on there. I might have to make that work again, because heat all the time, not ideal. Also, this motor, when I had the battery connected, got really hot. Probably why they're stuck up. So I'm going to disconnect this before connecting the battery again, and I think I'll need a new window motor. Alright, I don't know if it has fuel in it. I don't know if the fuel gauge works. So I'm bringing this in a leash in case we have to walk to the gas station. So far everything's working that needs to work. We got speed, we got tack, oil pressure, temps coming up, voltage is working. We just don't know how much fuel we have. She's cruising. Obviously the brakes are making a lot of noise, so it should scrub in. Alright, we did make it to the fuel station. I put 9 gallons in and the gauge barely moved, but it did move a little bit. So there's some news. I really want to drive this thing, but I really shouldn't because it doesn't have registration or a title. But I need some food. I'm kind of hungry. We'll see what happens. All right, last night's drive in the Celica Supra went really well. So I decided I'm gonna give it a little bath. I don't think it's gonna look a whole lot better, but I mean, gotta give a car a bath, right? I sprayed a little section. This thing would look really good wet. We'll see how it looks. Might be worth just doing like one of those rub-on clear coats just to keep it beat up looking, but make it kind of shiny. Not really sure. What do you think, Bruce? Yeah, I think I'll spray this thing down with a pressure washer. I drew it a bath, some suds. See what it looks like. Alright, she looks pretty good wet. I bet when it dries, we won't even be able to tell I washed it. But imagine just wiping this thing down to where it looks shiny like this all the time. Even though the paint's screwed up, I think it'd be pretty good. Rear wiper, I don't think it's tightened. Yeah, it's definitely loose. I could tighten that up. I know the motor works. I heard it whir yesterday when I turned it on. Alright, well, I've just been kind of doing little bits day by day. As you saw, first day I did the front hubs. Yesterday I washed it. Today I'm pulling the seats to try and put Mark III seatbelts in, so I have something. Also, I want to see if I can get this seat to lock, so I could actually have a passenger without them just flying backwards. And gonna vacuum all the mouse droppings out of here, without a doubt. So obviously the seatbelts are going to be a little different. I believe they will mount in here the same. They look the same, but the bottom part where it retracts is not going to be there anymore. I'm just going to mount the bottom part of the seatbelt here, so it's just a normal pull from the top, and then swap the latch over, which they aren't very long in the Mark III because they go on the seat, so it might be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but probably not too bad. But yeah, I guess I could set this up so you guys can kind of watch, and I'll probably just fast forward through it on YouTube. So what I have going here is if I can get my GoPro to stay standing. The piece that goes on the Mark III is obviously a little bigger. So even just like between this bolt hole and this bolt hole is bigger. But then it also has these guys here. I'm wondering if I screwed this up. It's obviously backwards, but I did get it working for a second anyways. I just had it working. Alright, these things are fighting, but I finally got it working. I got it extended out so it'll go through. It's obviously not perfect, but I mean, it's gonna hold. It does have a twist in it because I had to mount this backwards, but seatbelt's better than no seatbelt, and we gotta have them for the law, so here we are. Well, not perfect, but much better. I think I might wipe down the plastic on this side while I'm over here, just to see. I mean, obviously, it's never going to be perfect again. This thing's pretty well toast, but might as well make it as nice as it can be. Alright, well, the GoPro battery has been low, so I didn't record much, but I did get that seat out, vacuumed over there, got the ghetto seatbelt fix in, got this seatbelt in. I also, they don't fit, don't get excited, but I made the Mark III mirrors for my parts car work on here for now. Hopefully just a temporary solution, because to get this thing titled, I'm gonna need mirrors. So I got those on as a temporary solution. This thing actually cleaned up pretty good. I mean, it's definitely a 45-year-old car, but I ain't mad at it. Those mirrors are definitely not right on this car. That's alright, it'll get me past tank inspection. So now I'm gonna pull apart this seat and see if I can get the back to lock like it's supposed to. Alright, well, I couldn't fix the seat, so I welded it in a position I thought was right in the garage. Also, the radio works, I found that out. So I welded it in a position when I was in the garage, and then now that it's in the car, it's too far forward. So I gotta grind my welds, lay it back a little bit, then weld it again. I'll probably do it in the car. I just wet the seat before I welded it, so I'll just wet the carpet and stuff. But I think that's gonna do it for the first Supra video. I'm not sure how much I'll do on this, but we'll see. I'm thinking I might just take the fenders off for now and try and pound them from the backside without making it look like someone pounded it from the backside, and see if we can straighten it out, make it look a little better. But at least now it's got seat belts and mirrors and lights. It's pretty well street legal, so maybe I'll start driving the thing. But yeah, thanks for following along on the first of the Celica Supra video. It's just what do you do? Like, comment, subscribe. I'll try and post more drift videos. I have some content on it, but probably not very exciting. But 4th of July Tandem Cross, I'll do better. Thanks, guys.